as a community can do better.
What do you want to tell your children about this moment?
We need reforms.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we stand together.
Everybody's here together, black, white, brown, everybody.
A platform for progress in our community.
We need to do a better job.
I want to show that we can be peaceful.
This is just as much our fight as it is yours.
Discussing the problems of racial inequality and solutions to combat discrimination in a conversation for change.
We'll be able to build on this.
I never in a million years thought I would embrace a cop like that.
From Wish TV, we stand together.
Social change is going to take more than changes in legislation. It's going to take a change of heart and communities standing together to make sure each of us is valued. St. Paul's Episcopal Church is sharing that message in a big way. News 8's Katir Winfrey sat down with Reverend John Denson for tonight's We Stand Together.
When you're driving down Meridian, you can't miss the church. It's huge. But there's something else you can't miss. There's a big sign out front. What was the inspiration behind deciding we're going to put this up outside our church?
So we had the same reaction as so many other people to George Floyd's death. And we wanted to respond. And as I say, why now? Because we could have responded so much earlier to any other number of deaths that have happened. And we wanted to do it in the simplest way possible. So we talked about what signs we could put up, and we decided we wanted to just put Black Lives Matter because we wanted to make it clear that where we stand as a community of faith. And we don't want to shrink back and just make statements. So the other thing in that is the sign in and of itself is not sufficient. It's fine to put up a sign. But the question is, how does that call us as a people to live into the gospel?
I know a lot of people have this idea when you say Black Lives Matter, in some kind of way, you're devaluing other lives. And I've heard that's not the case. Was that ever something you had to wrap your mind around, understanding that, okay, when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying they matter more than anyone else, but they matter just as much? Was that something that was hard to comprehend or took time to comprehend for you?
I don't feel like it took time for me to comprehend it, but I know it's taken time for others. And so we've certainly had some members of the church who questioned why we wouldn't put a sign up that say all lives matter. Or neighbors who have called and wondered why we didn't put up a sign that say all lives matter. And of course our response is well, yes, all lives matter. Of course all lives matter. But we live in a time and in a society in which that's not lived out systemically. In the structures and systems in which we live, all lives are not valued. And so sometimes you have to name the specific lives that are not being valued in order to claim that they are.
I did a story recently where they talked about how God and religion really helped motivate people during the civil rights movement, motivated people to stay course when it came to pushing for social change. Do you think that the church and the religions is going to play another major role in keeping the momentum going and keeping people motivated to push for change?
I hope so. In Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail, he deeply, deeply criticized the white church for hanging back, for trying to convince him and others in the civil rights movement that they should not be causing trouble. But they should just wait and be patient. And I listened to that recently as just a reminder to myself. We don't want to pay lip service to something and then not live it. And I think the church has a role. I think religious people in general have a role, not just Christians, but Jews and Muslims and people of all faith, in order to create a community. You know, the civil rights movement was not simply about changing laws. At the heart, what Martin Luther King wanted to do was create a beloved community. And he wanted to create relationships that transformed hearts, not just legislation, because legislation may make certain actions legal or illegal, but it doesn't change behavior. When I watched the video of George Floyd being killed, one of the things that I found so disturbing was the look on the face of the police officer. Not because it was not a look of hatred. It was not a look of evil. It was a look of indifference.
So you mentioned the time that it took to get the sign out front. Talk about what other steps the church is taking to try to make sure your voices are used to kind of push this movement or push change forward.
Right. So we've been active for a while. So the sign is not the first step for us, and the what's important for us is that we are involved, active in this movement, so that this isn't just okay, we check the box, we put up a sign, now we're good, because this is going to be a long, long time and we need to be on that. So a few things. One of them is one of our clergy, Patrick Burke, was a leader in an ecumenical group of clergy, to one of the leaders to form a group to support the Black Lives Matter protest going on downtown. So he was downtown along with some other clergy from the Episcopal Church and other religions and denominations to support the protests, standing in front of the protesters in many cases to protect them, providing food and water and spiritual care. We also have, over the years, developed relationships through a ministry of ours called Faith, Justice, and the Arts with the Martin Luther King Center, so that we did a gun violence project in partnership with the Martin Luther King Center to develop a relationship with them. We have a relationship with School 43, both of those organizations right here in our zip code and so in our neighborhood. So with the school, we're providing tutors, we're providing support for teachers. We helped out to create a Christmas store so parents could come in and find affordable gifts for their kids. All sorts of ways to create relationships, because we think that being a part of the movement is about how we are grounded in relationships in our neighborhood.
And remember, you can also listen to our We Stand Together podcast anytime. Tonight's episode and others are found at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
From Wish TV, we stand together. Watch, read, listen, and be a part of the conversation online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Find more episodes of We Stand Together and other podcasts from Wish TV online anytime at allindianapodcastnetwork.com. allindianapodcastnetwork.com.